You don't have to put on your back. Like I said, you don't have to fasten 2 big tablets on your back to say, I'm a commandment keeper. I believe in keeping the commandments. Or I keep the law. You don't have to do that. It's on the inward part. But this is a spiritual mark. That's why when many of our people get attacked by spiritual things, that's because they can see that mark. They can see that mark on you. Now, the people who work for these angels and for these demonic beings, they know who you are just as well as, too. That's not a big thing, because the people of the book, the people who truly love the book, will be identified. Not the Christians. The Christians are part of that wicked system, too. They don't know it. They're being deceived, I was telling Brother Neil, I said, many in that day, and the Christians really get lost with this one. They tell you it means everything else but what it means. I'm just going to read what it says out the Bible. I'm going to paraphrase the way it is in the Bible in case you have any Christian people listening, because I think I throw them off when I say Yahuwah and Yahushua. But what it says is, when that end time comes, many are going to come up to Yahushua, which is, you call him Lord. They're going to say, Lord, Lord, haven't we cast out demons in your name? Haven't we done this? Haven't we done that? And what shall he tell them? Get away from me. I never knew you. Because, see, these are the people who believe that what they're seeing and what they're studying sounds so holy, sounds so good. My father learned this. My mother learned this. My grandfather taught me this. The world is all into this. I'm in the church. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. They're not getting the truth of the word. They're not having understanding what the Father's truly speaking of. They still have blinders, and if you want to call it that, they are naked. They are exposed. They are being covered by this mystery religion, and they don't even know it because it is not what the Father says. So I wanted just to throw that in there, and I'm going to let you pick back up if there was anything else you want to hit up on that. And let me check the switchboard. Family, I'm just going to let you guys know you got to put your fingers, hit the 1, put up your hand, and I'll take a caller. I don't think we have any new callers yet, Brother Neil. Did you want to add anything to what I already said or something new that I forgot?
Right now. Let's see if we got any calls online.
Okay, we have no more callers, but we did not go yet still over Revelations 11:1. And I'm going to read that real quick, and maybe that will get you back to the levels we were talking about. In Revelations 11:1, family, it reads, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, rise, and measure the temple of Yahuwah, and the altar, and them that worship therein. Remember we were talking about that? Or did I lose you? Hello? Uh-oh.
I'm here. I'm having a little bit of reception difficulty right now. Keep talking. You're breaking up in and out with me, and I'll come in when I get in a better spot. I kind of moved around a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna reread that verse, and I'm gonna go over a couple things. Okay, in Revelations 11:1, it reads, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, rise and measure the temple of Yahuwah. And remember, we ain't talking about. We're not talking about a structure, family. He was never talking about a structure. Thinking the Ruach, okay? So this angel stands up and he says, rise and measure the temple of Yahuwah and the altar and them that worship therein. Now, did you hear that, or do you need me to keep going?
I'm better now. That's good. That's great. That's exactly what I was speaking on earlier. And basically, I guess what I'm saying is, people, if anybody's still listening, let's measure the temple of God, which includes us that worship therein. Why have we not overcome this beast? Why are we still in the state of Adam and Eve? Is it because we can't discern the trees and we keep eating from the wrong tree? We keep believing in prosperity. We keep believing in magic apples and talking snakes. We keep believing in, you read one verse and you hoop and holler and you jump up and down and you flop on the floor. That's the temple of God. Let's really say it for what it is. That's what's happening. Let's pull the covers off of it. Like I said to the other caller, they sleeping with little boys. That's the temple of God. Let's measure it. Come out of her. What did God say about Babylon? Come out of her, my children. Just like he brought us up and out of Egypt. We got to come up and out of Babylon. We got to come up and out of this tree that's in the midst of the earth that we have all eaten from. My mama took me to those churches. I grew up in that. We all did. But it was taught to us. It go back, it's deep. It came out of that garden. It came from Cain, and it went a long way, and it's got different variations and twists and different denominations, which are demon nations. We got to come up and out of that and worship God in spirit and in truth, not in doctrine and traditions. We got to put down Christmas. We got to put down Easter. We got to put down Halloween. We got to put down all this foolishness which gives them their power. Our buying into their days and religion, their practices and traditions gives them power, and it keeps us asleep. We got to come up out of it. We got to come up out of the tree that's in the midst of the garden. We got to come up out of Babylon like we came up out of Egypt.
And I'm going to add something to that. Keep in mind, I'm going to take the next caller as soon as I finish this statement. Keep in mind, family, what was placed within these religious systems. What they have done is they already know their high holy days for fallen angels. They already know how they worship their fallen angels. They have even set the days of the weeks and the months according to these dates. So when people go into these church systems and they believe that they are worshiping the Father, no, this is just another day. And when you go into these satanic structures, thinking that you're doing the will of the Father, you're deceived. When you call upon Jesus and these false names that were never in the Scripture, they already had it planned. They do their little ritual ceremony, teach you lies, more lies, and then got you hollering and hooping. Many people do the babbling of tongues. Many people bow down to these structures that are nothing but idols, graven with hands, okay, out of wood, gold, silver. Many people, worship these wicked holidays. Many people still do this. But what they don't understand is these days were not set up to worship the Father. These days were set up to worship their gods, okay? That's why we need to come out of this wickedness, because so much has been done. And although you think that you're doing right, that's why Yahushua will say, hey, get away from me. I never knew you. Go. And the people are wondering, what does that mean? That means because you have been deceived. You have not kept to my word. You have not come to me spiritually. You are a tradition of man thinker. You are a fleshly thinker. You are of the world. You are my children, and I am not of this world, but you are of this world. You love the wicked holidays. You love going in that church thinking that you're righteous. And then you love living your life the way you want to live it after you come out. Some people are Christians and they go right to these secret societies. We know it's been done today. But this mystery religion is not, or this mystery school is not just in the secret societies. It's within the religious system. And this is the knowledge of good and evil. This is the tree in the midst of the garden. This is how why it says brought us away for destruction. Why it says that the whole world is deceived except for his people, the elect, the saints. Because unless you know the difference, and sometimes it's hard when it's right in front of your face, but sometimes it becomes hard because they have made it to where it's not obvious just by sight. But if you know the fruit of the trees, like Brother Neil was saying, some of these teachers, even some of these Catholic priests, they have not done anything to most of these priests who pedophile. You saw there's information out there. I don't know if you saw it, but there's information how they just take those priests who are found out for doing pedophile and move them to a different place to teach again. It's no difference when you get these mega million, these gospel things on TBS or TBN or whatever you call that. They go out there, they're teaching, but yet you find out information on these people, but they're never persecuted. You see them right back there the next day, same time, same schedule, in the same monarchy, not even teaching the Father's word. Why would Joel Osteen's church be that big when all he's teaching is a bunch of wicked lies? People love it. They love the wickedness. They love knowing that, hey, if I give a tithe, I'm going to get blessed. Hey, I'm blessed. Satan will deceive you. That's what all this is about, the big deception. Now, I'm going to go ahead, Brother Neil, I'm going to let you talk. I'm going to go ahead and take our next caller. Okay, Shalom, caller 702. Shalom.
Hello, Georgia. How you doing?
Hey, Brother TJ, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty good.
You want to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to, to what you guys were just saying recently. It just made me think of the scripture of how they would not give heed to sound doctrine, but they had itching ears and wanted to heed to themselves teachers. I think that even when I was in Christian church, I just noticed, like, the more you really stand on the Bible and you really start quoting scriptures and you really try to believe, you see that's not really what most people are there for. So I think a lot of people that's in the churches just are, not even there for the right thing. But I think if the Creator's really dealing with somebody in their life, once you hear that the Creator's names aren't his names, and you'll feel bad that you even been calling him demonic names for years. And that's not how you treat somebody you love. I talked to this one neighbor I have, and they say, well, I've been calling him Jesus, and I've seen so much done. And I say, well, but now that you know that that's not his name and you say you love him, it looks like you would want to call him his name. I mean, and at least it looks like you would at least attempt to research and see what his names really are. And one thing for me is, after supporting, going to churches for years and years and years and giving your money and your effort and your time, it just makes you really, when you really are trying to do the right thing, of trying to do anything else. But the Bible does say that we're supposed to, like, if you see somebody poor and needy, you're supposed to be a blessing to them. And then also you should be a blessing to the ministry of Yahushua and Yahuwah. The Bible talks about a laborer being worthy of their hire. So I think that we should be supporting the truth, and we should be doing right and doing everything we're supposed to do for the truth, and we should be willing to change if something's wrong. And that's all I wanted to say.
Wonderfully said. Hey, I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you coming to the show. Thank you so much, Brother TJ, for joining us. And I'm going to put you back on park, okay?
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Shalom. Now, we have only a few minutes left. I'm going to give you the floor in case there's any last-minute words you want to share with us. We got another caller. Sorry. Did you want to say anything before I bring on the next caller, Brother Neil?
No, go ahead and bring the caller on.
Okay, I don't know, you guys. We might get cut off, but I'm going to let it roll till we get cut off. Shalom, caller 209.
Shalom, Sister Georgia, Brother Neil. This is Sister Batia.
Hi, sis. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really good, and I just want to commend you guys, both of you, for this team up, because I know that I got a little email last night from Brother Neil, and he did a little portion of this last night, and then when I was so, just overjoyed to know that it was a full show today, and I had my daughter and my niece listen on last night, and they got so turned on and motivated that we were up till 4 o'clock listening to past shows, archives, until finally they just fell asleep. But I just want to commend you guys for this truth and just for getting it out there and, just persevering and just making it happen. And I really want to encourage Brother Neil, because I remember he had called in a few shows ago, and he was saying that, things are going on and he hadn't put together a show. But every time you feel inspired to do a show, do it, because we're hungry. We're looking. It's like missing a meal when there's no show. So the information is rich. It's full. It's, I'm just wanting to encourage you guys today for persevering, making this happen, and continuing to search it out. As you do more, as you search more, you bring more clarity, and we get to call in, we get to share, but it brings understanding to the whole group, everybody that's listening. So I just want to, again, you guys keep doing what you're doing. This is awesome. I'm very encouraged. I'm very motivated. I'm talking, like I always tell you, Sister Georgia, I'm talking to people. I sometimes bring people over to my house, and I tell them to listen in, and sometimes we're sitting there as a group of 5 or 7 just listening to the show. So keep it up. It's good work. It's good fruit. It's good fruit.
Hey, thank you so much, Sister Batia. I appreciate that. And I'm sure Brother Neil needs to hear that. Because, y'all, I had to drag him. He was like, well, I'm not ready. I don't know. I said, look, let the Father talk through you. That's all you got to do. We ain't got to be that prepared. This is our family. Let's bring forth what we have. And he was like, well, yeah, he got that. But, you know, sometimes when you rush a person at the last minute, but I had to bring him on. The information was too good. I heard it last night on the show. I said, oh, no, I can't stop there. He coming on here, so he knows. I got him on that night tonight. Hey, thank you so much for calling and sharing with us, okay, sis?
All right. Shalom, you guys. Shalom.
Okay, Brother Neil, you got any last words? We should be getting cut off any second, but you got any last words?
Yeah, I do. I want to thank her for calling in. Anybody that's still listening, I have short shows. I always encourage comments because I want to, if I'm not teaching right or if you guys got suggestions, I'm always open to that. What we need to remember is we're supposed to love each other. That was the greatest commandment. And you're